I'm just gonna say I'll just edit it out later.
All right. Do you want to start?
For me?
Yeah. Start the meeting off.
Hey. Okay, so we're group number Team 6, and this is our meeting. Present is Nate. We got Josh, Catherine, and myself, David.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about our previous meeting and what we discussed.
Okay. So last meeting we talked about our findings in regards to the Livingston Student Center, and what we found was that although we had a reasonable contact and a problem which we could go about solving, we determined it's almost impossible to accurately gather quantitative and qualitative data to address the problem of the lack of people attending events and times and just generally not showing up for sponsored and hosted events at the center. Because of that, we switched to the Rutgers dining services. In particular, we will be examining primarily Livingston and Broward Commons. And today and yesterday, in my interview with the general manager of Livingston Dining Commons and a worker at the same location, I found a number of things. In terms of the size of the organization, I found that there are 4 campuses in all that are serviced by these dining halls, and what they are is it's a common misconception that they're an actual part of Rutgers, although they are physical part of Rutgers, i.e. they're licensed. They're actually a separate private organization that works under Rutgers but has its own budget and everything else and is responsible for taking care of its operations on its own, separate from Rutgers. Livingston, in particular, has 150 employees and 7 to 8 managers at it and the other dining halls as well. And the managers differ between, there's an opening manager, closing manager, general manager, an operations manager, and a shift manager, as well as a manager that takes care of cooking and food preparation as well. In terms of the age of the organization itself, Livingston the construction was finished in 2011, and if I'm not mistaken, Broward was built at around 1960, 1970. However, oddly enough, information on Rutgers Dining Services itself is not readily available, and I will have to request the information be pulled by the main branch office located on College Avenue.
Cool. Wait, what was the name of the guy you interviewed today?
The 2 connections are Ricky Daniels, and the general manager that I interviewed was David Osman.
Who's Ricky Daniels?
He works at the he manages the coffee machines, espresso machines, and just cleans up the beverage area and makes sure everything's good there. And then he helps out.
Is he always circulating over there? Is that who that is?
No, he's the other guy. No, he's like the chill black dude. Always, I don't know. He's always positive. I don't know. You'll know when you see him.
Gotcha.
Cool. So, I guess we've decided that we're switching from student center to dining hall because student center's problem is kind of hard to fix, and we think we can do a better job at the dining hall, right?
Yes, and for the dining hall as well, it's going to be significantly easier to find data. We already I happened to acquire the breakdown of all the meal swipes and how the revenue is collected. The actual numbers were not disclosed to me due to the fact that I can't have access to these records from a private company. However, we can get a fair estimation of these records by taking a sample portion of how many people swipe in and extrapolate the other data based on the sample that we obtain. So it's something that we can very easily, not easily, but it's something that's feasible and quantifiable.
So even though we can't get exacts, it would be better statistically to do the dining hall as opposed to...
Because the student center, there are multiple exits, and it's very difficult to figure out what the people are there for, how long they're there for.
Definitely.
Dining hall, there's one way in and there's one way out, both for the takeout and for the main dining hall itself, and it's very easy to see both how long people enter, and because we can add that in as an option if we choose to collect the time that they're there, and also how many people come during what times. And if we do this for a couple days out of the week, where we figure out, what what's the frequency of people coming in on the weekends versus the weekdays, and the 3 busy days, which are Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from lunch to dinner time. We can from there just statistically kind of guesstimate accurately how kind of the trends go for the swipes and operations, because the manager mentioned that the amount of swipes range weekly from 30,000 to 35,000, and the number does not but the key thing, what an interesting thing he told me, is that the swipes never go lower than 30,000 and never go above 35,000.
But does this also include bringing in guests or even?
Yeah, all swipes are counted because actually no, I don't.
Every single swipe is an actual charge for them, or no?
No, what
like, if you get free guest swipes, then that's free guest.
No,
swipes.
guest swipes aren't free. I don't know if you knew this. Guest swipes, what that system is.
You're giving out some of your swipes.
You're being allowed to use your swipe on someone other than yourself, and you're allowed this 10 times per semester.
That's where it's weird, yeah, because it's using your swipes, but you only have 10.
So you're basically paying for someone else's lunch every time you do that.
Essentially.
But you're only allowed 10.
But you're only allowed to use 10 of your own swipes for someone else.
Why don't they just?
Because again, it's bureaucratic on the part of Rutgers, but also because if they did that, Rutgers and the dining hall not required, but they count on people wasting their swipes, which is unfortunate, but that's the way it works. It's one of the reasons why they stopped Kilmer's Market. You used to be able to swipe for actual items and up to 3 items per lunch or dinner. So you can do six swipes a day and actually rack up groceries and other things that
you know what that is, right?
Yeah, they want you to, or else if there would just be like an equilibrium of all different types of swipes to the point where all swipes are used.
When it came finals time, Kilmer's was just.
They were reordering every single week, and they were making too much money.
7 times a day.
Oh no, I did that too.
Like 3 energy drinks.
Wait, you can use your meal swipes for products?
Yeah. So and I would get, but yeah, go ahead.
How it works now is you have your swipe, and you go in, and you can get like a sandwich or something, and then a drink, and then a side if you still have money, but it adds up to like.
You have to pay extra?
I think it's $9.
Oh, it has to be exactly like a.
But say like I went in today and I bought like a protein shake and a sandwich, and it was like $9.04, and they're like, yeah, you need to give me 4 cents.
Damn.
Yeah, I had
4 cents.
I had a $10 bill and they made me break it.
But yeah, no, it happens
crazy.
often.
It's not fair.
But yeah,
I'd be like in the line. Does anyone have a nickel?
This person looks down
Keep
at
the
cash
change.
register. There's 2 pennies. He's like, I do not have 4 cents.
No,
so you actually had the $10 and you couldn't break it? Damn.
No, I had to break it. Like I gave him the 10.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's kind of in a nutshell. But yeah, I was buying. What I did was I got a sandwich or a salad, and the rest of the money I would spend on buying stuff, like actual like Purell, soap, shampoo, all that other stuff.
Well, that's Kilmer's.
So you should talk about like the major problems of the dining hall.
So besides, I guess, the swiping in crisis at peak hours.
Yeah.
They're probably just really messy at times.
At times they are. There's specific areas underneath the counters that are often kind of overlooked, and because of that, the manager has to kind of sometimes nag the employees to go, and because they just forget it, and then the shift manager either has to take care of it with the guys, or he just has to remind some of the employees to go do it. And also there's like a minor issue with the uniform. Like some people aren't wearing the uniforms properly, and
it's not really an output problem though.
But that's it's not. But it's more. He mentioned it, so I threw that in the report as well.
Now, what exactly is the uniform? It's the red shirt.
It's like a polo and then an apron, then pants, and then like a cap, or something like that. I know it's stupid.
So what are they doing wrong exactly?
Not wearing the right shirt, I guess. It's the thing is the guy. He's really meticulous.
Okay.
Is it all that? What was his name again?
David Usman.
He's the head dude.
General manager. Yep. He oversees all of operations, and
he's the man with the glasses.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the things with him is that his background is working with franchise restaurants. So he's by his training and by his background, professional background, he has to be meticulous because in the franchising world, if you're off code,
this is a totally different job.
It's a very he's keeping Livingston up to par.
Yeah.
He's been there ever since it opened, and the fact that he's there for like 7-8 years kind of shows of his efforts.
And they've been doing a good job because it beats out all the other dining
And
halls.
another thing as well in regards to running out of ingredients, as the manager said, it's an issue for other dining halls. But again,
Wait, so that's another problem, running out of ingredients?
yes, it's one of the, or rather a possibility, because here's the thing. I don't know the accuracy of his claims because as a manager, to directly admit that he at some times or some point failed to account for an influx of students causing the quote-unquote running out of stuff, I don't think he would ever mention this to me just to kind of, keep his status or maintain his credibility, because if he doesn't mention it, it'll never come up. But in my time of going there, I have never once found that they ran out of something. But in case it happens where they run out of ingredients, what they can do is they can actually pull ingredients from other dining halls. And this process takes up to maybe an hour. So they can have the ingredients over in about 40 minutes to half an hour if they really need it quickly. So there are systems in place and checks and balances to make sure that if there's an influx of unexpected students, they can pull more resources to the dining hall that has that extra stress.
Okay, so just to touch on, how you said with the manager, he's not going to most likely admit to everything that he's doing wrong or what he has done wrong. You said that's where we can go in and ask lower level employees,
specifically,
just like we talked about in class. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I spoke to my one contact, but I have my roommate also works there, so I'm going to probe a little bit. But I've already asked around a bit, and the basic consensus I get is that on the whole, there's little to nothing major that Livingston Dining Hall is lacking in. Mm-hmm. However, the other flip side of this is Broward, which, as most Rutgers students know, is full of issues and full of problems, from anything from management to the food itself to the building
to the actual cleanliness as well.
It's to the everyone. I heard so many stories of people getting sick from Broward food, either takeout or the actual food itself. And myself, when I eat in there, a couple times I found some raw chicken, which
you're not cool with that?
No, especially since that's one of the few things. One of the few things that can actually poison and kill me. So,
no, saying that.
Yeah, no. And then the last time I saw their chicken, the last time I saw their rotisserie chicken, it was basically dried out roadkill. So
you don't like roadkill?
No, especially without sauce.
Yeah, put sriracha on it, man. It's fine.
Yeah, sriracha cures all.
Yep.
What do you think? That?
Especially shitty dried out chicken.
I think we
should
try to focus on the output problem.
Cool,
right
we'll focus on output.
Mainly it's the too many people thing, right?
I was thinking about it just now. What do you think the dining hall can do to maybe attract people to not go to either Henry's Diner or even grabbing something from Kilmer's or the Sparrows? Like, what do you think the dining hall can do to make
They can improve their takeout menu. That's about it. Because the thing is, when we go to like Kilmer's or Henry's Diner, although it's also serviced by the dining hall, it's the problem with them is that they have a lack of employees. And because of that, service is pretty slow and it's pretty disorganized as well.
Isn't that also a problem at the dining hall? You said sometimes there's only one register. But the thing is, that's a pretty rare. I wouldn't say rare, but it's an infrequent occurrence. But it does cause like the live situation.
It does, yeah. When there's like
there should be something quicker, because what is the reason why you would not go to the dining hall and choose like Kilmer's or Dunkin' Donuts or
time?
Think about it, like
the time to get in and out pretty bad.
Kilmer's, you walk in, you get a sandwich, and you get online, and it takes what, a few minutes?
Yeah.
Takeout, if it's like busy hours, you're waiting on a line for 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Just to get
it. Is it not efficient?
It's because
you said price too. Sometimes I'm like, okay, do I want to pay this, or I can just probably get a sandwich a lot cheaper, quicker, and
but a swipe's a swipe. If you're going to Kilmer's and you're going to the dining hall, if it's an issue of price, that's one thing. But if most people, we're talking about meal swipes, we're not talking about people that pay cash, because honestly, if you're paying cash, then there are better options than the dining hall or Kilmer's.
Yeah, Dave, what do you think?
Yeah, I gotta stop paying cash then.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know. Cash is king is what I heard.
Cash is king.
Well, no, again, it depends. Like, you can also get micro blocks of meal swipes, but it doesn't matter.
Holy, I didn't even hear that.
But yeah.
E-Trade swipes, right?
Can I pay in Bitcoin?
You can just sell your Bitcoin and use that money to buy.
Your one Bitcoin's like 3 years worth of. Yeah, no, but they need. I don't know how they would.
There should be a part that you can just go in and out real quick.
Like you just swipe and go in.
Maybe put like a little stand of food, or like hot sandwiches or something like that, kind of like what Kilmer's has, like closer to the door. You just like, yo, give me that. Here's a swipe for it. I'm out.
Okay.
For your convenience.
That was like the whole idea of takeout, but I feel there's just always way too much traffic, and unless you're there on like an odd time, like during like.
Maybe open to takeout stations.
That would make sense, or even 2 registers, because you go in and go out 2 separate doors. Mm-hmm. So maybe like somehow incorporating like 2 lines crossing. I don't know if that would cause too much traffic.
Yeah, that's pretty like small.
Yeah, it's like. No, definitely.
Somehow expand, or I don't know. We have to figure it out.
And then mine's like, when you pay money. So how often do you go?
I'll probably go like, I'm here 4 days a week, so I'll probably go between 2 and 3.
Okay. Do you go during like lunch?
Always lunch, yeah.
Do you ever eat like on the pasta line? Like, what is your week?
I always, since I go there so much, I always have to like go one day pasta, one day burger, one day something else.
Exactly, and then there's all that other
time,
food that no one's eating, or there's like not enough people, and it takes up more space than like the pasta line. Why don't they?
Because they
make another grill. I think they need to have another Mongolian grill right next to another huge.
Maybe have 2 of those as opposed to
find out which food is like most busy in my situation.
Exactly.
Expand them.
Yeah, I could ask I'll ask the manager, like what are the more popular foods, or if they're able to change out the lines or change out the different menus. But I think the reason why they do what they do is to provide variety.
Talk about that grilled chicken too. Fix that.
You and your chicken, man.
I don't like my chicken, but I prefer burgers. But the
Scarlet burger, is that what it's called?
I've never had that.
Yeah,
it's like half mushroom and half beef. I mean, it cuts calories in half, so I can't complain. But no, for me, unfortunately, I can't eat bread, so it limits my meat.
You gluten?
Yeah, so I can't eat the pizza, I can't eat the pasta, I can't eat.
Do you have celiac?
No, if I had that, I'd be dead from the amount of wheat I ate. But time to time over. But no, so there's a limit on what I can eat. So for me, or for example, a lot of the people that are athletic and shit, they eat that stuff on the what's its face, that line with the chicken and the fries and stuff like that, and the coleslaw. Yeah, because that's like the really. That chicken isn't deep fried; it's grilled, so there's minimal oil. No,
it goes straight to the back.
It's at the end.
Well, you go straight, make a right, the first right.
Oh yeah,
no, circular grills. Yeah. So there's like grilled vegetables and stuff. So that's more like the health eating option, but they do that I think just for diversity, and also that the fact that they grill, they can also use leftovers to grill up, and like leftover vegetables and whatnot. So it's not really accounting for much of the waste.
Cool. So when are we going to talk to someone from there again to maybe find out more output problems, maybe how we can start implementing?
The wonderful thing about the situation is that I can talk to them as many times as I'm there, and I'm there almost every day.
Maybe we should all go Monday to talk to them.
If you want, you'll have 100%. A taste of Livingston, which is awesome.
We should probably go Monday, see if we can each talk to someone different. Yeah. Like you can go for a chef or one of the servers or whatever.
I'll request an interview with the chef or one of the chefs.
What do you think about like a blind survey, like handing it out, or?
We'll definitely need to do that.
Well, in the near future.
In the next week or so.
Get like a base.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. No, in the next.
Just go up to any random employee when they don't seem too busy and be like, "Hey, you want to fill this out real quick?"
Yep, absolutely. No, we have to put that together, but that's something we should definitely implement in the next 2 weeks.
Right. When do you want to meet again? Before we head to the dining hall?
Definitely, we're gonna have to. Well, we can meet up and talk a little bit before we actually go to the dining hall.
It's like a half hour before, maybe.
Yep, and then the thing is, though, next Tuesday we have our test, so.
Yeah, we should start studying that.
Yeah. So yeah, cool. As long as it's not going to really interfere with that, but we'll spend no more than an hour and a half on that.
Yeah. And we'll just keep in touch through GroupMe, the app, and always been.
That was good. And
then we're gonna submit our new.
Oh yeah, we need to submit our new
team document. So
T2.
If I may, what I'll do is right now I'm actually just about done with the case 3. That'll take me another half hour to do. Once I'm finished with that, because I don't want to get up in the morning and forget that, I'll finish up the. I'll do as much of the team thing as I can. I'm gonna put it on Google Docs, and you guys can
so
take
we
a
can
look
all,
at the.
look at it.
Yup, and
Let's get
yup.
that done.
We should knock it out. And then for the what was the? We had a survey to do, right?
There's 2 surveys.
So
There's 2 surveys.
There's 2 surveys. There's a case study, and I'll upload this by the end of the day today.
And then Josh, let's go to the library if you don't mind. We'll go there for 15 minutes. It's on the way to the buses anyway.
Okay.
Actually, well, I have to go to tutoring for calc, so it's ideal because it's right there.
Oh, you're trying to print out the thing.
Yeah, and we'll scan
We
everything.
can print out something hitting this floor.
I don't know if they have scanners.
If I can open up to the group the group me through my computer and just print it out through this computer.
Are you scanning or are you just trying to print the pictures?
No,
She took pictures. I'll just
Picture, please, so
I'll
you
just print them out.
I mean, wouldn't it be easier
I'll
to
print out,
just, I personally I prefer to scan it so that we do the whole book in a shot and then we have it.
Oh, you want to scan the whole
Whole
book?
thing?
It's 40 pages. It'll take me maybe 5-10 minutes. It's if you have time and if
No,
you're
yeah,
okay.
I'm
we'll
only
figure
gonna
it.
print on my pages.
But yeah, no, it's fine. But you will have your pages as backup. But for me personally, so that in the future we
works.
have it, and then I can give it to you guys
Alright.
if need be, and that's that.
Meeting adjourned.
Yep.
We'll see.